Okay. I guess the thing that really drives me crazy sometimes in a therapy type setting or a group setting or something of that nature, the thing that really drives me crazy is the fact that, okay, I feel like it just perpetuates itself. Now, this is my own thoughts on that.
How do you see that?
Okay, you're always getting ready for something. They can't just say, okay, well, here's the answer, because then you wouldn't need to go take all those lessons and classes and this and that and the other. If somebody just said, okay, point A to point B, here's the line. Instead of going, okay, well, we're going from point A to point B, but that's more like point A to point Z. You got to hit all these other letters first, and some of them are up and down. They swoop around and curve.
Okay.
So that's what it is society's play that keeps you going to counseling. It keeps you going to group. It keeps you going from kindergarten. You're preparing for first grade. From first grade, you get to first grade. You're preparing for second grade. Second grade, you're preparing for third, fourth, fifth, all the way up. By the time you get out and you graduate, then if you have made the grades and whatnot, they successfully try to motivate you to, okay, well, you can continue and this and that and the other, and maybe actually put yourself back in and be an entrepreneur slash teacher slash leader slash group follower, and it just perpetuates itself. So by the time you end up getting to that point, retirement, you've got all this money saved up, you've got all this free time and everything like that, but you have no energy, your muscles are worn out, impotency, your body's more so lack of ability to heal like it once did when you were younger and whatnot and could flourish. So I find that's the stink of it that gets me, is it's whirlpool of getting you ready for the next thing all the time, but never giving you the answer to successfully succeed on that token. It's always a token that leads to another token that leads to another, and you got to collect the whole set. There isn't just one magic coin that you can get. There's information out there that can wake people up, that can get them to understand, but we're bombarded with this whole, well, you got to get to that point first. And here is the set of preparation and guidelines to get you to that point. So it's always a perpetuation of itself. You can never really get the straight answer because there's always something leading to the next.
Okay.
And I believe that there's more power within the human spirit
Absolutely.
to drive past it all and to actually see the picture and to actually live in a sense of peace.
Right. And people make choices. Okay. And as a culture, we're all about, y'all need to be sold things and you need to buy what I'm selling. Okay.
Kind of like the perpetuation of...
That's the culture.
Yeah.
It is. We're all about making money, trading money, getting the things we want. And we don't even know the things we want until they tell us what we want. Okay?
So true.
So, there we are. So, with that knowledge, do we just spend all of our time looking for the answer?
No, living. No, you have to be present. You can't
living with...
make yourself be present because we're always in the present.
Not everybody. No, people are living in the past.
Or the future.
Trying to live over and
but essentially,
correct their mistakes.
All these people are trying to go to all these gurus and these meditations and all these things to try to find living in the present when all they have to do is just be present. Right. It seems so difficult, but it's so easy. It's the easiest things that are the most difficult.
Right. And then what? That's what people are going to say. And I like to have fun over here. I like going to all these seminars. I like doing, and people come, and there's a variety of reasons people have to come to groups. Well, I'm court ordered. Well, I'm bored when I sit at home. I don't know what to do because I'm either drinking or I'm doing more meth or, or, oh, hey, my parents died and my life was very involved in theirs, or I've had a mental illness since I was a child. I've been so beat up physically, emotionally, that I don't know how to navigate these systems.
Okay, the navigation is simple. Quit using an excuse to perpetuate another excuse to perpetuate your existence that you aren't happy for. The reason why you're not happy with your existence is because you perpetuate the misery of a lost little boy or girl that never got the attention that they needed, and this and that. You can go on and cry about it, but to actually literally become self-aware that it happened to you, and it's not what happened to you, because things happen all the time. It's dealing with the situation and releasing it in a way that is, okay, everybody always says, oh, positive, positive, positive. I believe that if you dive more into that darker aspect of yourself that nobody ever wants to admit, that, oh, the dark, I stay away from the dark because I realized the dark one time and it pulled me down and I was this and that and the other. I'm not talking about becoming dark. I'm talking about embracing that aspect of yourself, that regardless of whether or not you want to look at the fact of, well, I'm a good person, but I've done all this stuff in the past. Does that make me a good or bad person? Quit reflecting on that. Dive into that dark aspect of yourself. Get to know it a little bit and say, you know what? I am who I am, and I've made these choices based upon what maybe I thought was the best livelihood for my survival. Whether it was ripping this person off or stealing here or shooting this person or cutting myself or trying to overdose or do something. It's more to the point of just accepting that that's who you were. You've done it. Okay? You can't continue to sit there and beat the hell out of yourself over these things that aren't even pertinent to your life now. The reason why people can't get out of the bad situation is because they're doing the same things, or what their dad told them that worked, or what their mom told them that worked, or what this person told them that worked. Well, worked was in the past, and work is not presently operating now. What may have worked then could have been, well, I can't believe it. I don't know why this didn't work. I'm used to doing this stuff all the time. Well, that's because that time history didn't repeat itself. It doesn't always. It does, but it doesn't. History repeats itself because people do the same things expecting a different result. So if we're going to continue let's continue to fight with all these other countries and perpetuate war.
Okay.
No, there's no point into it. It's happening the same way.
Which is why, so people get caught up and they don't know how to get out of it. Yes, it can change, and I know this to be true, people's brain chemicals, because of whatever trauma happened,
right,
change.
Shift, just like the poles of the earth.
Then they don't know how, then it's hard to get them, it's called mental illness, to see and be present.
To see that.
So guiding them, which is what all these, sometimes they have to go, oh, I get that part now. Okay. And then they try to link it to the other part, and then try to link it to the other part.
Well, I've spent the last 20 years doing this, and I feel very successful.
That's great. I'm happy. And I see it. And be humble with the other people. That's all. And you're right. Maybe for you, it is like being in kindergarten. Okay? But do yourself a favor, because you are so close to freaking getting out of probation, that's where my focus has been, is like, please,
Just
call that freaking number and see if you have to test.
yeah.
Okay? Just do the stuff and get it out.
You know, and I am doing this stuff.
Yeah.
And when the judge saw me this past Tuesday and said that I'm not taking any of this seriously, if I wasn't taking any of this seriously, I wouldn't be sitting here right now. I'd say, all right, screw this. I don't, whatever. I'm above this. No, I understand you make the bed you lay in. Oh my gosh, how beat a dead horse what that is. But I'm seeing that this is just so redundant. Okay, I am where I'm at because of my past actions. That is all anybody needs to own up to.
Yeah, I mean,
Is I'm where I'm at because of what I've done in the past. That dark side is hard to embrace. A lot of people can't accept that that's what they did. That's the kind of person that they were. And they try to block it off and use an excuse. Well, it happened that way because, they said that, and then I had to naturally stand up for it because I'm not going to let anybody talk about my cousin like that. I'm not going to let anybody talk about my mom's like that. I'm not going to let anybody this, that, and the other. And because my ego is too proud to just allow somebody's simple slander of words just beat off. I mean, we all fall into it. You all get to that point where the body takes its toll. But it's that negative aspect that we need in our life.
okay. And
We need it.
Yeah. And so that you know, I communicate with everybody I work with about when they're saying the mantra of, even though I'm this freaked out or I'm this depressed or whatever, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. The reason people go, I can't say that because it's not true, okay? I'm like, it's not the good parts of you. The parts that are working are just fine. Mm-hmm. It's the parts that are not working right that you have to love and accept.
Yep.
Okay? So they're hearing that message when they come in because life is like this and we're like this.
Yeah, it's a crest. It's from your highest
You
peak.
know,
It can't exist. Here's the middle line,
average.
and here's the line that goes like that.
Yeah.
Your highest and your lowest, there is nothing different there because it's the same you.
Yeah.
Whether you're manic or depressed or just centered and stable, it's all you. And just because you accept one aspect of yourself on the lovey, more relaxed way, doesn't mean you can ignore that aspect of yourself. And a lot of people do. Whenever I talk about darkness, embracing that, people always get up in the risers about, well, I've been in that dark place before and that's not something you want to go to and this and that and the other. So let's just keep shutting it off and pretend it don't exist and wondering why these problems in my life keep popping up and I can't ever figure out the reason why. And I try to tell these people it's because you need to take responsibility for who you were, everything that you've done. Allow yourself to forgive yourself for it and push forward. Stop living in this whole, well, it's everybody else's fault. No, you know what? If she didn't say that, then I would have got that opportunity and this, that, and the other. And I just can't be strong enough in my heart to stand up and say that I was wrong and to stop blame throwing and to just really grab it by the balls and, rotate it a little bit. Oh, wow, that works. Okay. Whoa. So, the point is with that is get it, got it, good. Okay? So, understand that it's not always about what the best things that happen to you. Some of the best things that happened to you were probably your worst painful moments because that made you come out of your stagnance.
And about, but that is one of the activities that, and when people, for a lot of people, they connect to it when it's in a little story and stuff. They understand it because it's about somebody else. It's not about them. Okay,
No,
and then they can
let's not take
see how.
responsibility.
Well, then they can see how to apply it because they said the activity points out that, sorry folks, but it's when things are going bad that those are our biggest learning experiences.
Right?
Okay, not when things are going good. We're not learning a lot.
It's a distraction.
We're relaxed.
It's good. It feels good.
Yeah.
Your guard's completely down.
And our brains aren't engaged.
Yeah.
But no,
You may be focused,
it's
but not.
when the car has T-boned us that we're shocked into, oh my gosh, what's going on? And either we get it, and sometimes we don't.
Why is this happening to me?
Yeah. And so it's like, oh, it has happened. What am I going to do about it?
The only thing that you really can do about it is know that you've been living this long and surviving this long, and what has held you to this point is beyond all consideration on anybody else's part but your own. You know what it took to get you there. You know how long it's taken you to understand or grasp this or that concept. You know how long it's taken you to, I don't know. I guess the point I'm trying to make is that own up to your stuff. That's the hardest part to do. That's the part that was hardest for me. With such a big ego, tearing that down little bit by little bit, that ego fights you. That ego's like, oh yeah? Huh. Well, let me show you who's the bigger man or woman or person or whatever it is. And the thing is with person is that's just a hoax. All person was the personing of these masks in the theater, the personing. So they were playing out the persona of this character, which wasn't really them. So the person is a hoax. The individual is more of that which connects to everything else, because to take that persona, you're taking on that ego that says I'm separate and better than this, that, and that, and this doesn't relate to me, and I can't see this or that. So basically what it comes down to is just you can squash the ego, you can do all these things, but owning up to it and really seeing all the dark parts of yourself is the scariest. And I think that's what people have the most problem with.
Yeah, and I spent a lot of time